Nancy Pelosi could lose the gavel, no longer be House Speaker after new report reveals a New Jersey Democrat admitted his party could lose control of the House next year if they are unable to get their ST done. Rep. Tom Malinowski, who himself is in danger of losing his seat, made his remarks during an Innovators for Democracy virtual discussion, according to Breitbart News. The congressman was asked during the virtual event about the recent polling and the infighting happening in the Democrat Party, and what effect that has on President Joe Biden, since his recent polls are tanking across the county, and the Democrats as a whole, as well as the congressional members like Malinowski who are in districts that put them at risk. All that stuff is real, he said in regards to falling poll numbers for President Biden as well as the Democratic Party in general. He went on to say that if the election were held right now, I don't think we would win. We're the party that delivers, the Republicans are the party that defaults. I get to go out there and say, some of us get shit done, and some of us are batshit crazy, he said. And that's your choice, and most of my voters, middle-of-the-road pragmatic voters, I think will respond to that message. I can count on the Republicans to remain batshit crazy. There's no question about that. Democrats just need to spend the next couple of weeks getting shit done, and if we can, I think we'll be in pretty good stead for 2022, he added, in reference to a $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill and a $3.5 trillion spending measure all Republicans oppose. Meanwhile, Republicans are now the early favorites to retake control of the U.S. House of Representatives in the 2022 midterm elections. Cook Political Report's senior editor David Wasserman told NBC News that Republicans are poised to retake the lower chamber for a variety of reasons. Based on all factors, you'd have to consider Republicans the early favorites for the House majority in 2022, Wasserman said. But as we found out in 2020, surprises can happen, and it's not a done deal, he added. Democrats' best hope is that Biden's approval rating stays above 50% and that Republicans have a tougher time turning out their voters without Trump on the ballot. Last month, a top House Democrat warned that the Republican Party is in a prime position to take back House in next year's midterm elections. Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee Chairman Sean Patrick, who serves as a congressman from New York, says Democrats would lose their House majority if the midterms were held today. Speaking with Politico, Tim Persico, executive director of the Maloney-led DCCC, shared data with incumbents showing that several House Democrats are at risk of losing their seats to Republican challengers. We are not afraid of this data. We're not trying to hide this, Persico told Politico. If Democrats use it, we're going to hold the House. That's what this data tells us, but we gotta get in action. The point is to make sure that we're all on the same page, that we understand the stakes. Here's the good news, everything we are doing and everything we've talked about doing is incredibly popular, he added. What's more, 3/4 of senior Capitol Hill aides think Republicans are going to win back control of the House of Representatives in the 2021 midterm elections. Punchbowl News surveyed several senior Capitol Hill aides and reported that a whopping 73% think Republicans will take the Speaker's gavel from Democrat Rep. Nancy Pelosi next November. Republicans need a net gain of 5 seats to regain the House majority in the midterms next November.